whatever the reason, try and shake hands, look the person in the eye, and lead professionally.
Our main job isn't selling cars. It's buying cars the right way.
So, welcome back to our 4th edition now of Driven Minds. And this is the series where we get behind the dealership, speak to the actual founders and the CEOs, find out what motivates them, what makes them special, what's unique about them, and how they've been so successful here in Dubai. And this podcast, I'm delighted to be joined by Arthur Hughes, founder of RMA Motors, with your brother and...
Murray, RMA. Yeah, so Ryan, Murray and Arthur.
There we go, RMA.
Thank you very much for having me, Craig.
Arthur,
much appreciated.
fantastic to see you. Now, we've just done 2 hours of great chat. So
Exactly. We'll have to replicate now, mate.
Can we find more stuff to talk about? I'm sure we can. But look, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem at all.
You know, these episodes are really to try and find out about you and see what we can pass on to people that either want to come to Dubai or are already here and basically want to be as successful as you are. So that's what we're trying to find out, your secret sauce.
Yeah. It's like going back. It's like being in a shrink's. I've never been, but I can imagine.
Tell me about Arthur. So, what happened at school?
So school, it never went very well.
Okay.
It was always meant to go well. My mother's a doctor, but the thing was, I loved mountain bikes actually when I was younger. It was mountain bikes and go-karts and cars, obviously. Hated football. My dad still lives and breathes football and was a mechanic back in the day. But so I was doing okay at school. You know, you're kind of switched on, but you've got other distractions at school as you do when you're.
Well, imagine now at school.
Oh,
if you're there with mobile phones. That's
and it's really interesting. My daughter's 12-year-old, so she is not allowed a mobile phone just now for that reason.
Yeah.
So, but too many distractions, and then it was you just get in a wrong friends group as you do, and especially some place in Scotland. But we lived in the countryside, so what we do, we've got 2.5 acre field that we turned into a racetrack. So to keep me in locality from my mum and dad, they said, fill your boots, build a racetrack. So we got 200 tyres, built a racetrack, and we went down to the scrapyard and have great fun with basically banger racing.
Yeah,
it was great fun. But
that sounds brilliant.
It was that wasn't the start of my love. All since I was born, I think. Dad buying Matchbox cars and such like. But
see, Dad was always into cars, was he?
He was never into cars. That's a strange thing.
Right.
He lived and breathed football, and it was something I think it was too much pressure from my father to like football. So I'm very cognizant not to do the same to my daughter with cars. You know, it's
funny, isn't it? When you look at rural parts of countries like you were in Scotland, and we talked about earlier, same thing I saw in Northern Ireland, and you see it here. Boys tend to gravitate towards cars and modifying cars in those rural areas.
It's maybe because it's you can build up not even a 5-a-side football team in the rural areas possibly, but
well, I guess also because you got space to drive and play around with cars and stuff.
True.
So school for you. You were good at it, but you didn't really apply
it was
yourself.
But never applied myself. It was mother always had aspirations for me to go to university. I loved architecture, but I couldn't draw a line without a ruler, so that was out the window back in the day. There was no AutoCAD. So, bizarrely enough, what got me into the motor trade was my grandmother bought a new Ford Fiesta. She was Italian. Every 2 years it was. So she went down to the local Ford dealership. And I used to, at weekends, my mother used to say to me, where would you like to go? I said, when I was 12, 13, 14, I said, I want to go to the Ford dealership, the Mercedes-Benz dealership, the Porsche dealership. Just collect the magazines. I've still got them. I've still got a load of magazines for the late 80s and 90s. I loved it. So they're worth money now, I think, Craig. I think we could make a couple of quid off them.
I used to collect the Rover ones. I love
the Rover ones are good. What about the Ford ones?
Well, I was a Ford guy.
Yeah, good man.
Yeah,
good man.
My first Ford I bought. Well, first Ford was a Ford Cortina, but then I bought the Ford Sierra 2-litre IS with the pepper pot alloys.
Nice. What year was that?
1986, Reg.
Oh, so I went for a 1989 Ford Arangi injection with the same pepper pot alloys as yours, sir. Black.
Beautiful. There you go.
Yeah, so I think everybody was a Ford person, or Vauxhall,
had to be.
or Peugeot. It's like football colours if you think about it, back in the day.
Yeah, there was the 209 GTI, wasn't there?
Yes.
That was yeah. No, they're
Yeah.
fantastic days. But
Sorry, digressing. So we've
let's
gone
go
off.
back. So school, you thought about being an architect.
Started being an architect, going round at the weekend with my mother to all these agencies, dealerships. It's just a great place. And then going with my grandmother to buy her Ford Fiesta. Digress. I'm doing a Billy Connolly, one step forward, one step back. But I'm going to buy the Ford, and basically, being Italian, she would haggle for the last penny for everything. And my grandfather's big guy from Glasgow and just walked out all the time. No one interested. So I sat, and it was great education on how, even back in the day, the customer journey or how to haggle a deal. She used to be the artist at. She was an artist at. Anyway, so she said to him, right, I want to speak to the manager. The manager came down. The general manager came down, couldn't give any more discount off the car. She said, right, can't give him a job. So I was like, I'm sitting there like, what?
What age were you?
I was 14 at the time.
All right, okay.
So after school, so they said, what we've got is you can come down after school. It was like not apprenticeship scheme, it was like an after school kind of.
So you were part of the deal?
I was part of the Ford Fiesta 1.1 gear deal back in 1992. It would have been, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So about 2 weeks later, after school, from 3:30 till 6, I worked in a Ford dealership, parts department.
All right.
So I was a filing boy.
Right.
And I used to do all the stock checks at the weekend with the guys. So it was good. It was good. But
it's funny though, isn't it, with car dealerships? I was the same. I love being, and still do love being in car dealerships. And some people find them so intimidating, and some people just find them big toy shops.
Yes, exactly.
I don't care what the car is. I just love
being into a dealership.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It's and again, it depends on the dealership. My memories always go back to an old Mercedes-Benz dealership. Loved Mercedes, Porsche. And that's one thing about Porsche. They've kept their corporate identity linear. Like their car, they've only evolved it tweaks. And Ford's changed heavily, but yeah, Ford was my favourite.
So you're 14, you're working in a dealership, you're loving it.
Yeah,
so
I was getting £13 a week, I think it was.
That was it. That's when you fell in love with cars.
Well, no, loved cars all the way before that.
But at 14, was you thought, okay, I can see myself being in cars now for life?
No, because it was in the parts department. It was it was nice stepping stone. But it was like parts department was like unfortunately there's no windows in it, so all you're seeing is oil filters and air filters and microfiches. But in back in the day, and you're like, nah, this is not for me. Like, I'm going to turn into a mushroom here, fed water and iron brew if you're lucky. But you always looked through at the workshop and you saw the guys, because it was back in the early 90s. Cosworth launched the Escort Cosworth. Sierra Cosworth was going out, but it was the era of Ford, the early 90s, late 80s. So, I always had aspirations from that day, first day in the job, looking through the service department and seeing the guys working the cars. So I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to be a mechanic.
All right, okay. So you left school at what age?
I left school, I'd done my hires. So I left school when I was 17. And my mother was none too happy.
And went, straight into...
Straight into apprenticeship.
Into
the same Ford garage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, same. Because
right, okay.
I knew I wanted to be a Ford mechanic. Because, like I was saying, it was early 90s with Cosworth and such like.
Yeah.
So I've been looking at oil filters for a Cosworth for about 2 years. I'm going, I have to get a driver's seat.
They had some great product then as well, didn't they?
Mate.
Yeah.
It was it's an interesting era because it was first Mondeo, which was a total deviation from Sierra.
Oh, I remember it.
But Sierra was cool.
The
as
jelly
well,
shape, and everyone's like, this is never going to work.
Mark V Escort wasn't good though. Remember?
No.
Mark IV,
yeah,
that was a sweet spot.
Yeah, but they had some great... I remember actually reading the magazine Fast Forward.
Yeah.
That monthly magazine, Fast Forward, quality magazine.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went straight into apprenticeship. Now, I had Talib recently.
Yes.
And he told me there's a connection there somewhere.
Yes, funnily enough. So RMA, Ryan Murray and Arthur, were all from Perth, Scotland. And also Talib and Wisey, Alba there, Perth, Scotland. So...
and he was telling me that he's brought 12 of his friends from school into the Alba empire, not just the car bit, but the Alba empire.
Yes.
That's incredible. So
I think between the both companies, we're keeping the Perth economy afloat.
So what is it about Perth?
It's I don't know, because we're not salesmen. Me and my brother, none of us are salesmen. But I think we're all after salespeople, so you understand the customer journey a little bit better.
Yeah,
it's when you come into after sales department, it's a distress buy, it's a distress purchase. You've got something wrong, so you always try and build on the best experience possible for our service department. So so I think we've adopted that journey, and from I don't know why your original call, why Perth? I don't know, mate.
It's I just found it fascinating. So I was actually talking to my guys afterwards, and I said, we need to target Perth. we're looking for some more salespeople.
Population of 45,000.
Let's go for Perth.
It's like Arabian Ranches has got a bigger population.
Well, the good thing is we target somebody, either you'll know them or Talib will know them. That is true. Yeah, you can reference them. Come on then. What happens then? Where do you go there?
So 7 years, and it's probably the Perth angle. Again, here's a reason. It's a small city, big town, whatever you want to call it. But it's I was a mechanic for 7 years. Ford mechanic, recovery truck. Great fun. I loved recovery.
Yeah.
It was 24-hour recovery service. And we were doing the police recovery and insurance recovery as well. So you basically saw the whole of Scotland and got paid for it.
Did you have one of those massive mobile phones that you
Yes, mate.
They were brilliant.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
It's doubled up as a hammer sometimes.
Yeah, I remember those.
Those were beasts. That was my first mobile phone, actually. Was a recovery truck.
Yeah.
But
the recovery truck.
Yeah, but it was so we looked at everything. So the A9, basically the road going up through Scotland,
right?
The single motorway, dual carriageway.
Yeah,
not dual carriageway, a single lane motorway. So we done that area, and I remember I think it was November. No, I came here on holiday. I came here on vacation. I had friends from Perth that moved out, different trade. They were shop fitting. They were joiners and painters and decorators. Came here on holiday, and I think it was July, August 2000. Very hot. I was like, nah, it's too hot. And then went back home to Scotland.
Did you come here thinking, I'm looking to see if I should move here? Just holiday?
Holiday.
What time did you come again, sorry?
August.
Okay.
Scotland to here, it's like, where is everybody? It's like, nah.
Yeah, that'd have been a warm time.
Yeah,
But, okay. You came for holiday?
Just came for a holiday. I think it was Scottish mentality. It was cheaper then to come here. So came here and then loved it. It was just the vibe. It's the people you meet. I was only here for a week, 10 days. And as I believe, like, Dubai is the best stepping stone to something greater, something better, and definitely in management. But anyway, went back home. Went back home for about 2-3 months. I was on a recovery 3 o'clock in the morning. Basically, you're working during the day and you're collecting cars or fixing cars at night at the side of the motorway. And there's a small town north of Perth called Pitlochry, and you're going up higher up the mountains there. And it's called the Dromochter Summit. It's the highest road in the UK.
Right.
It was a Vauxhall Vectra. I remember this to the day. Vauxhall Vectra with the fan belt came off.
Right.
So the battery went in charge. So I remember getting to the truck, took my toolbox out, my Iveco cargo truck, put it at the side of the road. Belt's gone. We had one of these, we could make a belt for anything, and just cut it and bind it and whatever. I remember put all the tools on the floor. It took me about 15 minutes to find in the back of the truck, freezing. This is like -6 territory. So I had hair at the time as well, so I had a little bit of coverage, a little bit of warmth. But had my hat on and landed into the car, tried to pick my spanner up, it was stuck to the ground. I'm like, what's this all about? I was just 2-3 months ago in Dubai.
Yeah.
Went back the next day. I went, Mum, Dad, I'm going to Dubai.
Oh, really?
Came out. Made the decision. I think it was within a few days later. By that time, I made the contacts. I knew people in Dubai at that time. Not in the it was a couple in the motor trade actually, but had somebody to live with, had somebody to share a house with, or that was the main thing. So came out here in November 2000, never looked back. That was it.
So what age were you then?
I was 23.
23. You were single?
Had a girlfriend at the time. Came
You were
across
single?
with her. I was yeah, I was, yes.
You were
Not
single?
married.
And not married. RMA didn't exist.
Not for many years.
So this stage, RMA wasn't a thing.
Nope.
You
No.
came here just because you thought, love the town, love the vibe,
Yes.
and you had. Did you come here with a job, or you just thought, I'll
No.
get a job when I'm here?
I done what you shouldn't do. I came, well, you can do it, but probably not these days. But had enough money because it was cheaper to live back in the day there and here.
Yeah.
So I had enough money to get me by on the weekends for a couple of months and treat it like a little bit hard and looking for a job at the same time. And then, I started working. Yeah, I found a job through a friend in a small workshop.
This is the Perth way, because this is how Talib did exactly the same thing.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, I remember him telling me a few years
so
ago.
you just come out here, apply for a few jobs, and make your way.
That was it, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Gift of the gab, the gift of the Scottish gab.
Definitely. So, were you targeting anything? We just thought, I'll just get a job for now, and then.
Honestly, it was just looking for a dealership.
So you were going to go with cars.
I went door to door. I remember I went down to House of Cars. First guy I met, Keith Cox, great guy. Never had a job at the time. They had X Garage as well. But I actually got a job eventually with a French guy. We were building rally cars, Paris-Dakar kind of cars.
Right, nice.
And that evolved into a job with Sheikh Khalid Al Qasimi and building his rally cars, Liberty Rally Team in Sharjah.
Okay.
So that was, and sorry, in between that time, I got a job with Bentley. So I was working for Al
here.
Bentley Dubai.
Right.
But for one reason or another, I didn't stay there for too long. But I'd made, not obviously, but I'd made some kind of impression on the Bentley team here in the Middle East. And 5 years later, I got a job with Bentley again. So that.
You went back.
Yeah, I went back, but it's a story in itself. I got offered a job in Bentley Kuwait.
Right.
So a bit quick summary. Job with Sheikh Khalid, building his T2 rally cars, modifying cars in Sharjah. Great fun. Workshop manager in 2004. Left to Kuwait 2005 as workshop manager for Bentley. Then it was Bentley, Bugatti, Ferrari, Maserati workshop that we took over. Became service manager there, and after sales manager. I was there for 5 years, and then got offered a job for Bentley in Bahrain, and Lamborghini Bahrain. I'll set up the Lamborghini, Bentley, Bugatti, Lamborghini deal in Bahrain, which is good fun. And then 3 years after that, I got offered a job at Al Nabooda as regional after sales manager, Northern Emirates. Took that. Yeah, that was the end of my dealership career, but it was a bit of whirlwind. But that's basically 15 years of my life.
Yeah.
In a quick summary.
So you've had an amazing experience. And then, how did you get together to say we need to launch RMA?
It was always of interest for us because my brother as well, he came out in 2012.
So he came out after you?
Yeah, he came out basically 11 years after me.
And was he coming out to look to see if he could move out here?
Exactly. So
okay.
He basically copy and paste what I done.
Right, okay.
Best practice. He never copied me. Yeah, he did. But so he came across, and then he was a BMW mechanic, so he done the right thing. He got a job with BMW at AGMC before he came across.
So he came through the service workshop side as
well? Yeah, he's a mechanic like myself.
Right, okay.
So he worked at AGMC for 5 years, and then just when I left Al Nabooda, we got a job as regional after sales manager for Jaguar Land Rover Middle East. Honestly, that's the best KPI academy in the world. Jaguar Land Rover.
I bet.
Whereas Al Nabooda, I was there for about 4 years. That was one of the best dealerships I worked with.
Right.
Or worked for, sorry. Back in the day. Great management team, great structure, great focus. Look after their staff and such like. Big company. And then JLR, great company as well. But what you learn, or what the imparted the knowledge and training, and it was, the analytical experience. I
Right.
can look at any data sheet, just any Excel sheet, and I'll be able to derive strategy from just looking at the numbers in it.
Right.
So again, going out to the dealerships, and you're basically, as a subject matter expert of after sales, you're going through a core process and see whether you're going in as a consultant. Some brands don't go in as a consultative approach.
Yeah.
They go in, you will do this. So you learn, you go in as a consultant, and then you see the opportunities. Again, looking at data, looking at in the coalface, you can derive strategy straight away from that for opportunities and technology, basically the customer journey, how to make it as smooth as possible. Easy to do business with was one of the JLR taglines. So it's just making, again, what we've brought into the sales side as well is technology, people, process technology and people. That's it.
Yeah.
Um,
And I assume, great execution, because that's your background, right? Is great execution, making sure that you do the job properly. With the brands you've been working with,
you had to.
you've got to do it properly.
You had to.
So Ryan comes out,
Yep.
follows your footprint, comes in via BMW.
Yes.
When do you start saying, come on, we can do something here?
It was towards the end of my Jaguar days. We've been talking it for a while. And we're out one night with a bunch of lads, and obviously with my experience as well, because in a corporate world or manufacturer corporate brand, you don't just look at after sales, you look at the whole customer journey, A to Z. How can we improve every segment? And you could see what the big dealers and a lot of the used car dealers could do better.
Yeah.
And you can see the opportunity in what they're not doing, or what, as a market manager, you're trying to push technology to make, one, the customer life better, the journey better, the profitability better, the communication better, which is customer journey. And they're not grasping it, because back in pre-COVID, the tap's on, they're making money.
Yeah.
Nobody's focusing on used cars dealership-wise.
Yeah.
Big brands, they're moving metal,
Yeah.
but a new metal.
Yeah. But even today, the agencies, the approved dealers here, don't seem to have a focus on used car retailing.
I think it's definitely turned since 2021, when volume became basically post-COVID, when you couldn't get cars.
Yeah.
So they had to make money. So the opportunity, the lowest hanging fruit was the used cars from. So the used car market has got a little bit, not a little bit, it's a lot more constrained, because the dealers have turned on.
Do you think? That's interesting, isn't it?
Not to 100%, but again, it's dealership to dealership. Again, it's the management at the top with a strategy and the right mindset.
I saw personally, and we as a business witnessed that change with COVID, lack of volume, focus on used cars.
Yeah.
My sentiment now is they've kind of gone back to new car retailers.
Could be right, actually. They've probably peaked at used cars.
And I think they've had such a phenomenal year so far with new cars.
Yes, yeah, totally.
It's all right. So we've got the R and the A part.
Yes.
You and your brother talking about it. When does the M come into the?
Well, actually, it was just when I was away to leave Jaguar, I got offered a job with Maserati, because my good friend Luca Delfino, who up until December was the chief commercial officer, Group Maserati. He said, "Look, Arthur, we've got a great opportunity." I've known him for years. He used to be my regional after-sales manager. Again, an after-sales guy. Who's now like the second top of Maserati. We want you to bring all your analytical and basically what you derived as opportunity across what you're doing yourself and JLR. We'll bring it into the Maserati fold. Process and such like. And best practice and technology, blah, blah, blah. But then me and my brother were talking, there's so much opportunity out there in used cars, so much. This was in 2017.
Right.
January, I remember we had a couple of drinks, me and my brother and a couple of friends. And then I was like, there's too much opportunity. I said, right, I'll crack on with Maserati, and then we'll start a used car business. And we started it. It was like selling luxury property. We were selling it from an office in Business Bay.
Right.
Nice office. Car park was a showroom.
Okay.
But again, it's, as we still say today, even though we've got a 20,000 square feet showroom in DIP, our main showroom is social media.
Right.
So I know it's a buzzword, omni-channel, omnipresence. It's not a buzzword, it is what you have to be.
Yeah.
We started off the other way. We started off as a social media e-commerce business, if you'd like.
Yeah.
With a nice showroom, with a nice office to add on and nice display cars.
And were you targeting a certain part of the market? Were you British expats or Western expats?
It kind of was at the time. Sorry, in between that, we met Murray.
Right.
So Talib's friend, and
was it Murray that went to school with Talib, was it?
Yeah, Murray went to school with Talib,
right, okay.
and my brother went to a school called St Columba's, and Murray went to the high school. And
Right,
we're all
okay.
from Perth.
Yeah.
But so Ryan and Murray were basically just the two of them and an accountant selling cars from the office. And 1 year we grew the team. We got a lot more, how would you say, family capital, because it's a capital intensive business.
Yeah.
So
Did it always start off as RMA? All from the get-go?
always
You
RMA,
launched
always
RMA.
RMA. I was a silent partner. But
I can't imagine you being silent upon. But
what's that actually?
So-
I had, but even though when I joined Maserati, I told my friend that, we went in eyes wide open. I said, look, I've just started my used car
Right,
business. And he said, no, it's great, Arthur. Just come on board and we'll see how it goes. And yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you saw the gap as one, how to market through social media.
Yes.
You saw the other gap in terms of just improving the overall process because it
Yes.
just was. Did you see any other gap that you thought? I mean, trust and transparency must have been something you
Total. Again, it's all lineage, like I'm saying. It's people, process, and technology and marketing. So technology is a big one for us as well. As you probably know, we've got AI.
Oh yeah.
I don't like calling it a chatbot, but it's a AI chatbot.
Yeah.
But it's a real.
I've used it.
Market leading. Yeah, you can tell yourself.
I've had a good play with it. I think it's a great little tool.
Well, but I say so technology is a big one, and
But I guess, did you see technology back then?
yes,
Oh, you did. Okay, so you've always been there as a remit for technology.
yeah. So
Okay.
so again, that's what part of my job was from the manufacturer side, pushing this technology onto the dealers that don't need to do it.
Yeah.
Because they've always done it this way, and
Yeah.
that's opportunity. Like it's communication to the customer.
It's one of the funny things about. I mean, I've spent 30 years dealing with car dealers in different parts of the world,
Yeah.
and I love it, obviously, because I still do
Yeah.
it. But it's the speed to change of most dealerships. Do you think that's just because it is a capital-intensive business, and therefore changing things does take a period of time because you've got a lot of cash wrapped around your cars. You don't want to make any radical decisions. Is that, or is it the people that it attracts, or what?
I think it's the higher management.
Okay.
Whoever's at the top that drives that change. That's what it is. It's the people at the top driving the change.
Yeah, because it's consistent across the world. This is, there's no market.
Exactly. But you know yourself, when you go into certain dealerships and you can sense the buzz and the hum and what's happening and what's not happening. You can sit there and you'll go in as with your consultant head sometimes well and go, oh, dearie me, what's that all about? And
I do.
yeah,
I do.
It's and you read some Google ratings and such like, and that's another thing. It's again, I'm always harping on about the customer journey, but it's the customer journey and the customer retention.
Yeah.
Our 4.9 Google star rating.
Yeah, well done.
On Google and Trustpilot. So we've got Google and Trustpilot matching. Same.
Yeah.
So
I was actually talking last week about this on the podcast. Here, especially because of this trust and transparency thing, you only need one person to say have one bad experience, and that's it. So, don't get to RMA, rubbish, or go to RMA, they're amazing, and that one person can radically change your business.
I know.
I mean, look, we're both on British Does Dubai, I think, on Facebook. You can see, and it's not that people are being negative. They just say, don't go there or go there.
Exactly.
Who's the expert on here about cars? Me, go there. Done. That's it.
Exactly. That's it.
But I think people don't have time to research as well, do they? So, they're looking for that endorsement from someone who just says, yeah, they're good guys. Go there.
Exactly.
So it's a killer. You have to have that.
It is, yeah. You have to cover all bases in that respect, definitely.
Yeah.
And but I think, again, I'm going back to people, process, and technology. It's the training that you give your staff as well. So we've got 5 salesmen, we've got general sales manager, and we've got 4, 5 purchasers. My brother drives that side of the business. Me, Ryan Murray, we have a good relationship. We drive all aspects of marketing throughout the business. I'm more of, how would you say, because I've known a lot of people. I've been here for that long, so you know a lot of people. So it's business development, collaborations. We've got, I'll not say too much today, but we've got a couple of good collaborations in the pipeline. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, we'll get you back for those. We'll get you back to talk about this.
And that's off the back of us being a Caterham dealer now as well. So we've got our first dealership.
Just going back to RMA. So I've been to dealership. Fantastic setup.
Thank you.
Beautiful premises and great workshop on the side as well. So they're all in package. And I know you guys are heavy on technology. I've seen your CRM and DMS systems. Yeah. But at what stage did you think we're definitely onto something here? We've got a model that's going to work. What did that automatic, or did that take some time? Or
no, I think it was definitely in the early days when the guys were selling cars from the office.
Okay.
In Business Bay.
Yeah.
And again, it's my brother and Murray. I don't know if it's, not saying anything bad about English, but the Scottish, how would you say? I know we're difficult to understand sometimes, but we are very warm people. So I think it's just, they're very good at communicating and looking after the customers, what I'm trying to say. So we saw that, and we saw the customer retention of the first couple of years there. Again, I was measuring retention even back in the day, and our marketing was doing very well, and it's quite interesting. Sorry, digressing quickly. I was at a conference recently, and it was a conference for it's a Canadian company, a Canadian university doing an automotive business degree seminar.
Right.
All automotive guys there. Only knew 2 of them. Guy, guess I had my RMA shirt on as usual. And the guy said, Martha, I know who you are. These guys are like Nike. Everybody knows your marketing, and it was that kind of interaction even back in the day. You're going out, you're in pubs, restaurants, you're wearing your RMA top. People know you. So it's good. Or know the number plate in the car or the holder. So we definitely knew with something on there. Then that's when we transitioned into a showroom in DIP.
So that was your first showroom, was it, DIP?
First actual showroom,
And was that a brave decision to go in DIP?
Yes.
Because there couldn't have been many dealerships.
We were the first in DIP.
You were the first,
we were
weren't you?
First. But it was actually Murray that found it.
Right.
Murray, I can't remember how he found it again. Then Ryan phoned me. And when Ryan said DIP, I was like, DIP? That's out there, like. I was like, that's miles away. Then went out for a drive, and again, perception. It's not far away from anything, DIP. No. I live in Arabian Ranches too, and it's 20 minutes from me. JBR's 15 minutes, such like. But we were the first people. So it was a bold move from that point of view. But again, parking was so good, and it's not like, unfortunately, I'll cause. It's so difficult to park or get in and out and such like. We were there before Alpha Team Automall were.
Right.
Alpha Team Automall MD came down to see us.
Right.
Sniffing about as they do. How you doing? How's things, guys? It was before I started working there, actually. It's all good. So it's good that it's grown up there. The amount of automotive and
I think it's a smart decision now, right? You think about all the residential areas that are being built around that. You've got
Dubai.
Exactly. You've got a huge captive audience. Yeah. I mean, I remember when I don't know, when did you open the showroom?
So we we opened a showroom in 2019.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, yeah.
It was end of 2019, and then COVID hit.
All
And
about
then
timing.
we had the dealership. We took Westfield on at the same time as well.
Okay.
February 2019, 2020, we took the Westfield dealership. So yeah, that. No, we weren't a dealership. We were just like a sub dealer, let's
Right.
call it. And then COVID hit, and I was working at Maserati at the time. I was in Italy when it all kicked off. I got sent home. I was there in a conference because it started off. COVID started in Italy. It was
A skiing
Northern Italy.
resort. It's got a ski resort, didn't it?
Yeah, it was up by Milan, up north.
Yeah.
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 So yeah.
I remember that.
Home. Yeah.
But I remember the dealership because I was here 2018, so I remember the dealership opening, and I remember the sales team going, these crazy guys have opened a showroom in DIP.
Yes.
Never going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to buy a car from? Because everyone was so used to either Shakeside Road or
there.
Alweer, and if you're not there, you're nowhere.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, okay, they sound interesting. Who's these crazy Scottish guys? I went, I'll go and see them. I remember, and I just didn't know at the time, I didn't, but I thought this feels like it's a smart move. It feels like you're away from the crowd.
Yes.
Because if you want to create this with different trust, transparency, data, technology, you can't just base stuff in Alweer and try and fight your way through it.
Exactly.
So it was definitely a smart move. So well done on that. Because you've made it sound super smooth.
Yeah.
So come on.
Yeah, sleepless nights. So yeah, COVID and the growth, the growing pains.
What are the growing pains?
Process.
Okay. So you're good at that.
Technology. Hence the reason I left Maserati
Right.
in mid 2020.
Okay.
I had to go up to my friend, who's basically on the chief commercial officer of Maserati at the time. I've only done 2.5. I wasn't on a contract. I was just there, and said, "Look, mate, I've got to." He knew about the business. Said, "Look, we've grown post COVID. It's just exploded. As if all used cars, everybody's gravitating towards used cars." So, so my brother and Murray said, "Right, you have to come on board now because we're growing. We're growing big here.
Yeah.
So we need the process, technology aspect, development." So yeah, we're Ryan Murray, masters at marketing, really are. The first job that I had, we've implemented a full dealer management system, Titan dealer management system. Then next step was full integrated phone system, CRM system, because you're pumping that much money on your marketing, you have to measure the ROI and your retention and such like. So customer loyalty. So that was what we implemented. Again, it's technology. It's key.
But technology only takes you so far, doesn't it? Because you can buy the best systems in the world, but if it gets to your point, right? If you're
not driving it,
if you're not driving it, if you haven't got the processes set up, then technology can be a nightmare if you haven't got the process set up.
Exactly. It's embedding.
Yeah. And it's building those disciplines so people use it, and then it becomes a habit.
Yes, exactly.
So that was a growing pain process.
Yep.
Come on, what else? What else did you? I mean, we're trying to find out here. What made your success? Because there's obviously it's the failures that make you the success.
No,
right?
so 100%.
What didn't go to plan?
We also opened a paint protection business at the same time when I started as well.
You still got that, have you? Not?
It's very successful. It's very successful part of the business. Initial start as a car care business, and we transitioned to PPF, not only, but focused on that. So that's again, it's great process. Murray driving that with the marketing, the people. Again, it's the people. Yeah, you have to get the right people in the right position.
Do you struggle to find the right people in Dubai?
Yeah,
is that one of your biggest challenges?
That's a huge challenge.
Where do you see the gaps in talent here in UAE?
I think it's gone back to what I just alluded to earlier on about this Canadian university coming out. I don't know if you've heard about in UK, it's Loughborough University. It's an automotive focused university in Northern England. And that's what's kind of missing here. That anybody that's been here for a long time that's not automotive, you train in-house, which is fine at the blank canvas, sometimes better that way. But again, to find people. Your question is, it's a network. Your network back home in Perth. Getting all the Perth or Scottish people. We've got a lot of Scottish people working for us. We're up to 47 people, and there's a good percentage that's Scottish. English, we've got. I love Dubai. Melting pot of cultures. My wife's Egyptian. So yeah, it's getting the right person. That's kind of a blank canvas in some respects, because if they've picked up bad habits from their sales career back in Scotland or here, you want to train them.
Yeah.
And that's what's missing here. It's an academy of automotive.
It's funny, actually. You try, even just sales training, you try and find good sales trainers here. It feels like sales here isn't actually seen as a career.
Yeah, exactly.
Is it? Yeah, it's a real shame. I mean, I think investing in people and training them, but it'd be... All right, so what didn't go to plan? Westfield, by the sounds of it.
Westfield, they went bankrupt.
Yeah, that didn't go to plan.
Yeah, that didn't go plan. That was a UK thing. That was they moved into too many different areas. Automation, actually, they went bankrupt, unfortunately. Good company. So we were looking at being a dealer at that point as well, to have the dealer credentials. Me and my brother, we've all been dealership focused, so it's great credentials. It's great for the RMA brand to have a brand.
Yeah.
So at that time, the head of Nismo, global head of Nismo, and Nissan's Skyline, worked for Nissan in Japan. He just retired and he was living here, friend of a friend, so we're out having drinks on and off a few times, and he knew he was going to Caterham but couldn't tell us. He was on garden leave here. He said, "Go for Caterham, get rid of Westfield." I said, We've got rid of Westfield anyway. We've had to.
It's got rid of itself.
Yeah, exactly. So he became the Caterham CEO. Bob
Did you lose money in the Westfield deal?
No, it was all good. It was all consignment in it as well.
Oh, come on then. Give me some of the juicy stuff. Where did things not go to plan? You thought, we shouldn't have put money in that, or we shouldn't have done that.
Look, it's always a grind trying to find capital. It's a capital-intensive business.
Yeah.
So that's how us and everybody else consigning vehicles. So we consign. Old banks are just, because they class used cars as a dirty business, a dodgy business.
Yeah.
And when your name's Arthur selling used cars, no, I'm only joking. I'm a mechanic. I'm not a salesman.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. So it's it's very difficult to raise capital in that perspective, and that's where friends and family initial bootstrap the business yourself.
Yeah.
You've never taken any money out of the business.
Right,
We're earning money, not taking a penny out.
Right.
Just constantly reinvesting.
Yeah.
It's difficult, because I like property. Murray likes property as well. We could have, probably made triple what we made.
So your journey then was really getting your skills in the UK, getting yourself bedded here again in the same industry in the UAE, and the whole of the GCC, not just the. And then you'd got all the skills network required to do that. So what would be your advice to the next Arthur in Perth? I mean, there must be another
There's
one.
a few.
Who's sitting there watching this thinking, I want to follow the same path.
It's interesting because the amount of CVs we get, no joking, daily.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It's LinkedIn, because LinkedIn's my go-to social media. Because I'm getting older, it's LinkedIn.
Me too.
And Facebook and all that. But anyway, TikTok, I'm not. Are you on TikTok?
Technically, but I the only reason I'm on TikTok is to see our content. And that's the only reason. So I just followed DubiCars. That's it.
Exactly.
But so come on, Arthur in Perth, sitting there
Arthur
watching
Perth,
this. What are you going to tell him?
This, I'd say definitely research who you're going to work for first.
Okay.
Understand business. Look at their Google star
But
ratings.
Just to challenge you, you didn't do that.
I didn't do that.
And Talib didn't do that. And you've both been very successful. So is this the right thing to tell Arthur now?
Looking back, it was a different world back then.
Okay. So the world's changed.
The world's definitely changed.
Okay.
It's such a big place. And I don't want to say names, but you're talking about personally. I worked for 2 or 3 garages, workshops they didn't pay me. I didn't want to go into the detail. It's hot pot of cultures.
Yeah.
And it's you have to be very buyer beware when you come into a job.
Okay. So your first advice to Arthur is research whoever you're going to go
Research the business.
to. Yeah, research the business.
Find a friend that's everybody's connected in some way. So you're bound to know somebody that's done business with that dealership or knows somebody in that dealership or that business in general. If you're coming across construction industry, I've got friends in construction, such, you just have to research the hell out of it. But I would research that. I'd definitely come across on holiday.
Yep.
Come across on holiday. Do your interviews. We are interviewing just now for a couple of positions, and we have a conference call. Come across on holiday. It's always touchy-feely. It's like buying a car.
Yeah.
That's how I'm always interested in how people sell cars in the UK so well over the e-commerce. But click and collect, isn't it?
Click and collect.
Click and collect, my goodness. But so come in the house, come and have a look, come for a holiday. It's always good to come out to Dubai on holiday. You have to come in on holiday one time.
And in terms of making that step from coming on holiday, getting a job, to owning your own business.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I think the thing that's always consistent with any founder who's been successful is energy. You have to have a phenomenal
energy and
amount of
focus.
Energy and focus.
And professionalism.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Never burn your bridges.
Yeah. Especially in Dubai where it's very small.
Motor trade in the world is generally small, but in the Middle East is terribly small.
So you've got to have passion as well, I suppose. That's
Totally. Yeah.
But is there anything that you found that we haven't covered in those things? You just think, you know, if you're going to come here and you're going to try and build your own business, and you there's some other things you've got to. I think you kind of have touched it in terms of technology and data. I think they're such essential skills that people have to have now
These days.
Yeah. You can have as much energy as you want, but if you actually haven't got data to back up what you're doing, you're going to find life pretty tough.
Yes, there is definitely, but it's just finishing something that you'll say you'll do as well.
Right.
You know, it's integrity is big.
Yeah.
It goes on. Look, anywhere's integrity is big, but it's again going on. Don't burn your bridges. I've got some friends, you know, they fell out with their bosses, and rightly or wrongly, but they done it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Rightly or wrongly, falling out with them. Okay, they could have fell out, but in a better way.
Yeah.
Again, it travels. It's like what would you gossip travels?
Yeah.
So
especially here,
and from UK here, or vice versa, they can follow you around.
So what? Try and take the emotion out of these.
Take the emotion out of. I'm even though I'm Scottish, I'm not an emotional person. But I try not to. Actually, that's a lie. I'm very emotional, but I'll retract that comment. Professional
emotion.
Professional is. So.
I think that's really good advice. I think that's really good because I think, you know, especially when you move country, you've given up a lot.
Yeah,
there is it's more emotional, isn't it? Because you've moved away from your family, and but as you say, whatever the reason, try and shake hands, look the person in the eye, and leave professionally, whatever that means.
100%. Yeah, that's what. And another very important one, as you just started, as we've all done when we came across, especially when you're younger, you come over with a bit of holiday mentality.
Yeah.
And you can slip into going out with your mates, going to a nightclub, going to a pub too often.
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah, you have to do it all. But
get out of your system quickly.
Exactly. Especially in the sales game, you know.
Yeah.
We have got a good commission. A good base salary, but your main salary is only when you turn up to work and sell cars. Yeah.
Well, look, we've got a few minutes left, so I'm going to ask you one main question.
Yep.
So you've now got all this experience. You've got a fantastic business. It's growing. The market here is definitely going to grow. That's without a doubt, right?
Yep.
Population's growing. I read a stat: 1,000 people a day are moving to Dubai.
I heard that. Yes.
Yeah.
I heard it was just from UK. That
I heard it was from Perth.
45 days in the empty Perth.
But 1,000 people a day are moving to Dubai. So the market's growing, and we can see that in our data.
Yeah.
What is your prediction for the industry? Is my first question. And my second question is, I give you a magic wand and fix something. What would you want to fix in this industry? So what's your...
That's a political question. Kinda. No, it's not really. I'll answer the last one first, the latter first. It's look, it's there's a lot of underhand used car dealers. It's difficult to find, again, data about cars. We know we've worked in UK and the crash history, accident history of vehicles. You know, it's our main job isn't selling cars. It's buying cars the right way.
Yeah.
You can sell cars. Anybody can sell a car.
Yeah.
Well, not anybody, but you can sell a car.
Yeah.
It's you have to buy the car right in the first place.
Yeah.
And that's all goes back on our reputation. If we're buying the cleanest cars, sometimes if it's a little bit shabby, that's why we open a car care department.
Yeah.
So we refurbish them up to the spec they can. So as good as they can be in the showroom for a used car. But it's if there was a wish, let's call it a wish list, is if the TA or the governments were able to speak together and just get one. What was it called in UK? It's
the
there's
history checks.
history. So Carfax in UK, something like that here.
Yeah.
Japan do a very good grading model.
Yes, they do.
Japan
and which is
grading.
consistent across every part.
The MOT model, let's call it in Japan.
Sorry, I'm just going to cut across it. Because do you think that we haven't got that? Because and I've had this conversation with a few people. The reason we're doing these podcasts
sure.
is that actually it's a very fragmented marketplace.
Yes.
The dealerships don't really talk to each other.
No.
There's no united front. There's no federation. There's no association. There's nothing that lobbies government or that is needed here, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, our podcast won't solve this. But it's trying to bring these issues out to say
exactly
we've got to work together to solve these problems. Because if the good dealers got together, if the good marketplaces got together, and we went and saw the RTA and said we need this data, I think we'd get it.
Yes, the big family like the Alpha Teams, the Altaires, Al Nabudas getting together and driving that.
Yeah,
and
but they're more fragmented by the looks of it than anybody.
Sometimes they are. Again, it depends who's at the top. And I've met a lot of the guys, know a lot of the guys that are at the top, and they've got the very similar mindset. And again, the second thing to change the middle, again, off data is a glasses guide, a black book of the car values.
Yeah.
So that was the second part of what I was going to say of
the wish list.
Of the wish list. So that's a two-top wish list.
History and valuations.
History and valuations. I know a lot of people are trying to get yourself as well, which is great.
Yeah, definitely. We're trying to wave our wand and
exactly
solve that problem. Okay, and the first question?
I forgot.
The market is going to grow. There's no doubt about it.
Yes.
What do you think it's going to look like? I mean, what's your prediction, and where do you see RMA sort of playing in that market in the future?
It's definitely, we're forever growing. We always want to grow. The three of us at the top driving all the changes of the process and the growth. For us, we've got our first brand. So we've got our first stepstone to a dealership. As you know, it's very difficult to get other dealerships here. So I think, we will definitely grow in a couple of locations. Can't say too much just now. We are moved with the Caterham brand. We're moving into a motorsports focus as well. We're going to open a Caterham race series in 2026.
Yeah.
Again, it's bringing communities together.
Yeah.
So it's a lifestyle that we're trying to grow. It's not just buying a car. We had a very successful evening called the 5W evening. So it's wheels. So the 5W is wheels, watches, waves, which is one of our friends got a Bush and Noble.
Right.
Big shout out to them guys. Bramley's watches, that's in-house. We've got watches in-house now. Water of Life, better not go into too much detail of that, but it's Scottish for whiskey. And then Wanderlust, which again is apparel, high-end. So it's a lifestyle model. Again, how are we differentiating above the rest? It's our technology, people, process. But again, it's building a lifestyle, which is Caterham, the race series. We're total petrolheads in RMA. We're enthusiasts. And that's how we sell our cars. That's how we stand out. We're mechanics, after sales, and enthusiasts. So we convey that knowledge onto a person. Sometimes too much, you know. If somebody's just in and out to buy a car, and we're telling the fire and order of a V12, you know, like nah. So again, you know your customer. But a quick answer to that: RMA in a few years' time, we're definitely going to be dealer. We are a dealer. What other brands we've got? couple in the pipeline. We've got a good media agency in-house. Again, we're growing that. We've got good collaborations coming up. I can't say too much just now, but you'll see it on our social media and our LinkedIn and YouTube. YouTube's a big opportunity these days. So again, it's just hitting all bases.
You just have to, don't you? Every company has to be a media company these days.
Totally.
Who'd have thought that?
It's
Arthur,
interesting.
it's been fascinating.
Thank you.
You've been, as I thought, incredibly entertaining.
Thank you.
Well,
sorry if nobody. Are you putting subtitles on this?
Well, I was just going to say we're doing English and Arabic subtitles. And if anyone's in Perth who wants to come and join us, we're recruiting at the moment.
Australia as well.
Oh yes,
we'll take Australia.
There you go. But no, seriously, you've done incredibly well. Thank you for sharing your insights.
Much appreciated.
And we wish you the best of luck for the future.
Excellent.
Good man.
Thanks very much, Craig.
Thank you.
For having me on.
Cheers.